We have a Mercury retrograde in Aries from April 1st to the 24th, 25th. This one is huge. It even ties into the eclipses. April 1st, Mercury turns retrograde. It stations retrograde right on April 1st at 27 degrees of Aries. Now, all the way until April 24th, where it starts stationing direct at 16 degrees of Aries. It finally starts moving forward. This whole time, the ruler of Aries, which is Mars, is sitting in Pisces. Now we have Venus, also there's Saturn, Neptune. So this is huge. During the April 8th lunar eclipse we are about to have, Mercury is not just retrograde, but it is also combust. So it not only triggers this eclipse that we are about to have, but it also triggers the October 14th eclipse we had in 2023 in the sign of Libra. So that eclipse was at 21 degrees of Libra. But we had Mercury there at 16 degrees of Libra. And right now, Mercury, when it's finally done retrograding, will end up being at 16 degrees of Aries, very close to the eclipse point of the last eclipse that we had in October of 2023, and the eclipse right now that we're having on 19 degrees of Aries. So both the Libra and Aries axis is being really triggered. And there's something that you have to go back to, something you have to revise, or something coming back to you for either to come back into a close, or that you need to look into further, and maybe you will change your mind. This will be especially potent if you have any planets or points from about 15 to 25 degrees of Libra or Aries. So let's see what it means for all of the signs. Aries, sun, moon, and rising, this Mercury retrograde is happening right in your first house, especially if you are an Aries rising. Now, the node is there, Chiron's there as well. The ruler of Aries is in Pisces in your 12th house. Okay, and Mercury rules your 3rd house and your 6th house. So we have the 3rd, 6th, 12th, and 1st house coming into play this month, along with an eclipse in your sign. Chiron's there as well. There could be painful transformations or you revising things when it comes to the 3rd, the 6th, and the 12th house. On March 25th, there is a lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. So if you have any planets or points at 5 degrees of Libra, this can be huge. But this can also bring back an ex or bring back somebody you have a past relationship with, and it could be really catch you off guard. And you could really rekindle or fall in love with someone from the past all throughout this month. And also, just even people that you've known in a past life, it could feel like you've known them forever. This can really signify a past relationship, an old romance coming back into your life for a lot of Aries. If you have any planets in Aries from 15 to even 27 degrees where this retrograde starts, this is going to be especially potent for you. This Mercury retrograde follows the lunar eclipse that happened in your 7th house. At the end of March, there's a lunar eclipse in your 7th house. So this is affecting your business partnerships, your clients, and one-to-one love relationships. Now we have the 6th house and the 3rd house that Mercury rules in your chart. But it is retrograding in your 1st house of self. So there is something you have to re-examine when it comes to contracts, work, business partners, relationships, the way you do relationships. There could be a breakup that occurred within your one-to-one romantic relationships that you are revisiting now through 3rd house communications. Maybe you are in communication with an ex, somebody you let go of, or they let go of you. Now the 6th house is at play. Some of you might be even going through a nasty divorce, or more contracts are happening within the business. You are revisiting business contracts. 6th house, you're negotiating something. 6th house also rules your health, and it rules our day-to-day activities and our discipline, the discipline that we have. There could be something happening with a health issue that you are now revisiting, or maybe even changing doctors, or you're changing your daily routine because of a partnership you are no longer a part of, a business partnership or a romantic partnership. So your day-to-day routine is changing. Now, this can also affect your neighborhood, where you live, the relationship you have with your siblings. Now, the ruler of Mars, your first house, is this whole time in Pisces, your 12th house. So what actually could be happening as well is you could have expenditures, expenses you didn't know about associated with business partners, love and romantic relationships, or on account of health, on account of daily routines, or any courses that you're taking. Maybe revisiting and replanning your social media strategies when it comes to your business ventures. You can also be restructuring social media platforms you have associated with your business, associated with your romantic partner. But this can also signify a time where you need new equipment, or maybe you need a course, or take a course, or study something, learn something different when it comes to the area of business. The way you run your business needs to change. The way you run your day-to-day activities needs to change. There could be expenses on account of a romantic partner, on account of business or taking courses, or maybe even for some of you, a sibling, or when it comes to health and opponents. With the eclipse on April 8th and this Mercury retrograde being right in your sign and its ruler being in the 12th house, it is probably wise not to make any decisions until after April 25th, because you are going to be getting news, new information, and the idea of what you want to do when it comes to your business, love, romantic relationships, health, dietary, planning, or third house, any kind of communication or social media platforms. You might want to wait because new information will present itself to you and you might completely change your mind. Mercury retrograde being in your first house is a sign too that you yourself are reevaluating your path in life, your looks, even little things such as haircuts, where you get your haircut, because this is associated with your 6th house of daily routines. So you might be completely changing your daily routines to present yourself to the world in a different way right now, Aries. Whatever it is, there could be extra gossip around you. With the ruler of your first being in the 12th this month, there could be a lot of gossip, or you're dealing with self-undoing. What limiting beliefs are holding you back from this new business venture, from romantic relationships working out the way that you want them to, from your communication style. So all these things will come into play. This Mercury retrograde has a lot to do with the eclipse that we had in 2023 on October 14th. So look back at what was happening around there then and what's happening around now, because chances are things are coming back for either a revision, for you to redo them, whether you want to go back to them or just say goodbye to these things. You might be presented with people coming back into your life as well. Somebody reaching out to you, an ex-business partner, an ex-spouse, an ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, maybe even a sibling or somebody that you used to work with, a competitor. So hope this was helpful, Aries. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde is happening in your 12th house of self-undoing, gossip, enemies, things going on behind the scenes. You can feel more reclusive, like you want to just exclude yourself from things right now. Now, the ruler of Aries is Mars sitting in your 11th house, which ties in your groups, friendships, and organizations that you're a part of. There could be some developments going on with friends, older siblings, or groups and organizations, clubs that you belong to, where there is some backstabbing, some gossip going on about you. And it's making you retreat from this. This also ties in your 2nd house. So possessions that you own the money that you make, and your self-worth, your self-esteem. You can be re-examining your self-esteem right now. Why you're attracted to the people that you are attracted to, Also possessions, it rules your possessions. And with this Mercury retrograde being in the 12th house, I want you to be more cautious and more careful that no one steals your possessions. Theft or even theft of intellectual property can happen. Mercury also rules your 5th house of love, creativity, and children, which opposes your 11th house of groups, friendships, and organizations. So there could be theft of intellectual property or people using your ideas as their own. There could be issues surrounding romantic partners or children. Maybe your children are going through something. But this can signify a time where you need to revise things when it comes to the money that you make, the possessions that you own, your self-esteem. Why do you attract the people that you attract into your life? People mirror you. So when your self-esteem is down, you can meet people that aren't the best for you. Your 5th house of creativity, romance, and children, and your 11th house of groups and friendships. Mercury rules your 5th house, and that also rules games of chance and the stock market. This could also signify a time where maybe you could lose money in the stock market, or maybe play more into the stock market, because the 12th house is the house of long-term investments. But I would be very cautious in starting something new, especially in the stock market right now with this Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. And just be more watchful of all possessions and even any kind of stocks and bonds that you hold. I would be more cautious of what you are investing in, because this is kind of asking you to revisit things. You might have to revisit the stocks and bonds that you invest in right now. And April 8th, there's also an eclipse right there in Aries, where there is Chiron there as well. So there could be emotional feelings coming up for you that you want to transform into something. Watch your dreams and the way that you feel. Also watch people who might be gossiping about you right now. There could be fallouts with friends, groups, and organizations, maybe fights or fallouts with children or romantic partners. So there could be a lot of revisiting when it comes to the 2nd house. Also rules dental work. Maybe you need revision on dental work, or revising what possessions to keep, what possessions to let go of. 5th house, you could be rethinking your relationship with a romantic partner at this time, Taurus, or a romantic partner from the past could contact you. So because Mercury retrograde is trying to take you back to revisit if you've made the right decision, it's probably wise to wait until after April 25th to make these decisions, because new information could be presented to you at this time. I hope this was helpful, Taurus. Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now, this Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 11th house of groups, friendships, organizations, clubs that you belong to, the love that you receive from the people that are around you, and social media, marketing, anything like that. The 4th house is also ruled by Mercury for you, as well as you yourself, your 1st house. So this is tying in your 1st house, your 4th house, your 11th house, and your 10th house, because the ruler of Aries is Mars, and it is in Pisces all month. We also have Saturn, Neptune, Venus joining there for a while in Pisces. So there's a lot going on in your 10th house of career, public image. You are trying to change your public image. You are trying to change yourself right now. You are re-examining everything about your life with Mercury being retrograde right now, and the eclipse happening in your 11th house. This could tie into starting new friendships right now. There could be new friendships that you are starting, or becoming a part of more groups and organizations, clubs, maybe putting in more effort into a business or social media that you are a part of. Mercury also rules your 4th house. So maybe it is you are working from home and you are meeting new groups and friendships online. There could be new developments in the life of your mother, your family members, or you could be restructuring your home environment. Maybe some of you even thinking about moving. I wouldn't make any major decisions until after April 25th, because right now you are revisiting these things with this Mercury retrograde. You could definitely be revising the work that you put out into the world, the friends that you hang out with. This could be a time where people show their true colors. So it is important to watch how we say things and watch how we communicate, what we put out online, as to not offend people or, have to redo things. Because right now you are having to redo how you show up for friends, how they show up for you. When it comes to your home environment, and the people that you live with, and your career and your public image, how do you want to display yourself to the world? Now, Mars is also going to cross this degree, the eclipse degree that's happening on April 8th, on May 25th, the same day that Jupiter goes into your sign. There could be developments going on at that point that you started now. So any new friends that you met, or maybe something happening in your home environment, or with your career, or meeting like-minded people then. So that's also an important date to remember, but right now you are revising everything. So be careful of communications at this point, or any kind of electronics that you have. But for you, mostly it deals with the area of friends, groups, organizations, social media. This Mercury retrograde is very much tied in to the eclipse we had in 2023 on October 14th, which was for you in your 5th house, the sign of Libra. So at this point, it could be like your creations, your art, you're putting it out on social media. Your creativity is involved in groups or friendships. Or you might be starting new creative ventures, creative projects, and putting them out on social media. It could have something to do with a romantic partner and friends as well. It could be that you are now being recognized for your creative projects or creative art, anything that you produce that you show into the world. I hope this was helpful for you. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde right now is happening in your 10th house, your career, your public image. So there's something you are revising or making a decision when it comes to a career or public image you want to present, maybe taking on a different job or career changes happening to you. The ruler of Aries is in your 9th house. It's in your 9th house right now in Pisces, where we have Saturn. Maybe there is some revision when it comes to an area of study, publishing. You are revising some published work or teaching, a course you want to take, a school you want to apply to, or maybe an application for a visa or something to do with foreigners and foreign travel. Now for you, Mercury rules the 3rd and 12th house. So this also ties into this Mercury retrograde. So there could be communications, or maybe you are involved with communications or learning a new skill. There could be things going on that you need to redo, revise in these areas. Also, maybe relationships with your siblings could be a little rocky right now, or there's something going on in the lives of your siblings. You're having to relearn something for your career, for your public image. Now, this ties also in with the 12th house of self-undoing. So maybe there is a limiting beliefs that are stopping you from the career you've always wanted, from maybe making yourself public, revealing yourself to the public. Maybe you are scared and there's limiting beliefs about how people will view you, how people will think of you, your looks, or what you're putting out there. It could also be you are afraid to publish your work, or you need to redo work that you need to publish. There could also be gossip about you, or maybe some opponents that you do not know about. I would be more cautious of theft of intellectual property, theft at work, right now. It could be also having something to do with your neighborhood. Maybe there is more theft going on within your neighborhood at this time, because whenever the 12th house is involved, it's not just self-undoing, but it could be expenses. So you may have expenses right now when it comes to visas, foreign travel, schooling, taking courses on account of your neighborhood, your siblings, or maybe even on account of your communication devices breaking down, your computers, your phones. So be more cautious of communication. You are going to probably want to retreat a little bit more. This could have something to do with home, mother, your feelings of security, how secure you are within yourself, within your home environment, maybe redoing or rethinking where you want to move to, moving to a different neighborhood. This is very important also on May 25th, when Jupiter goes into Gemini. Mars will cross the degree point of this eclipse that's happening on April 8th. And that could give you the results of what you are revising on right now. So if you are revising or thinking about changing jobs, or there's miscommunications going on at work, with the government, with schooling, or with anything legal, that could be the point where you hear of the final result of all of this. So this is really big, but you are mostly revising things when it comes to your career, your public image, your 10th house. Also the 9th house of publishing, law, and schooling. Since Mercury also rules your 12th house and is now retrograde, this could really be expenses on account of schooling, work. This could be a time when you are hearing back from old coworkers, old jobs, or employees maybe that you used to have. Could also be a time where promotions are up for the taking. Leo, sun, moon, and rising. This Mercury retrograde is happening in your 9th house of higher education, foreign travel, school, teaching, and publishing. Now, the ruler of your 9th is this month going in the 8th. It's in Pisces. So Mars rules Aries, and this month it's in Pisces, where we also are going to have Venus, Saturn, and Neptune. So Mercury rules your 11th house of groups, friendships, organizations, and your 2nd house of income, possessions, and self-esteem. Both the 11th and 2nd are money-making houses. This could be a time when you are publishing your work, but you have to revise something. Maybe even change an editor that you are working with, or you are editing something yourself. It involves also the 8th house of money or other people's money. Maybe the money that you will make from putting out classes or publishing your work. Something in the area of other people's money, the money that you make, and groups, friendships, and organizations has to be re-looked at, revised, or will have to. If there are major decisions that you have to make, it is better to wait until after April 25th. This Mercury retrograde ties into the eclipse on April 8th that we are having, and also the eclipse from 2023 that we had on October 14th. Look back and see what was happening then. The eclipse that we had on October 14th, Mercury was at 16 degrees of Libra, which rules your 3rd house of communication. Skills that you have, maybe writing skills. Maybe you guys were making a course, writing something, and right now you are publishing it, putting it out into the world, and revisions need to be made, or something needs to be changed in order for it to work better. This involves your 11th house. So before you put it out into the world, for it to be seen, something needs to be revised, whether it is a book you're writing, a course you're making, or maybe the learning that you are doing. Maybe you are taking a class and revisiting old material that you were learning in order to learn things better. Also, this has to do with money. 2nd, 11th, and 8th house are involved in this, and those are all money houses. So maybe things have to be straightened out when it comes to taxes, inheritances, business contracts that you are making with teachers, editors, collaborators. in order to make something work for you. Also, watch what happens around May 25th of this year, because Mars will be crossing the exact degree of the April 8th solar eclipse in Aries. Okay, so whatever you're working on, at that point, you can see the fruits of your labor come to pass. So it can be hard right now. There could be revisions that have to be made, or maybe you have to get new equipment. Maybe there is miscommunication going on because of Mercury retrograde, but it will all work out in your favor. So just be more cautious of communications, contracts, and your equipment. And I hope this was helpful for you, Leo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is a big Mercury retrograde. It is sitting there with Chiron and the node. The solar eclipse is happening in your 8th house. Now, Mars rules Aries, and it is in Pisces all month, where we have Saturn, we have Neptune, and Mercury rules you. It rules your 1st house. It rules over your whole life, and it rules your 10th house of career and public image. So really, this Mercury retrograde is really pointing to both eclipses, the one on April 8th that we have, and the one on October 14th we had in 2023, where it affected your 2nd house of income, self-esteem, your possessions. So this is really tying in so many houses. It's tying in you, your 1st house, your 10th house, your 2nd and 8th house, and your 7th house of partnerships. Watch May 25th. At that point, we have Jupiter going into Gemini, and Mars on that day is crossing the degree point of the eclipse we have on April 8th. At that point, you could see the fruit of your labor, or whatever it is you're reworking on, revisiting, come to fruition, come to pass. You can finally see the end result at that time. So anything having to do with business ventures, shared resources, possessions, relationships, even going back to old relationships or revisiting past loves, well, you'll finally see the end result around May 25th when Mars crosses that degree point again. And right now, you could also be reevaluating your image to the outside world, and, simple things such as your wardrobe, your haircut. You could be revising the way you want the world to view you. Virgo, you are reworking and revisiting how it is that you do shared resources, or going over insurance plans, or maybe you are starting a business and figuring out how to fill out all the paperwork. Start all the paperwork, what is right for you, what is not, so that you can continue making money or make money from this new business venture. For you, this actually could affect relationships in a huge way, because Mars rules over the sign of Aries, and this whole month when Mercury in Aries in your 8th house is retrograding, Mars is in Pisces, along with Saturn. Venus is there, Neptune is there, and you could actually be getting a call back from an ex, even an ex-business partner, or maybe just somebody that you used to date, or rethinking your relationship with somebody. Somebody could be calling you, you could be calling them, but this really ties into relationships because Mercury also rules your 1st house, your sign, which is opposing Pisces. And now you are going through a Saturn transit through the 7th house. So you are really, you're really rethinking a lot of your relationships that you have with people that are very close to you, not just business partners, not just love relationships, but anybody who's very close to you, even close friends, but especially romantic relationships and business partners. And they could be reaching out to you, or you could be reaching out to them to maybe fix things that were broken in the past, or, refinish things the right way. Maybe there was an ending to a relationship both of you didn't like and you need closure, or they are just coming back to revisit the relationship. This Mercury retrograde is really tying in all these eclipses. This March 25th lunar eclipse in your 2nd house is a big part of it. It is a time where you can earn money from other people, from business partners, or even romantic partners. You can benefit from the public, romantic partners, or any contracts that you sign. This is a time where you can meet this whole month. You can meet a romantic partner unexpectedly. Have people come back in from your past that want to revisit things as well. But you can also meet the romantic partner you've always dreamed of, you've always wanted. I know that the eclipse is happening in your 8th house, but the ruler is in the 7th. The ruler of this eclipse is in the 7th. So it is all about business partnerships. You can meet a friend group or become friends with somebody that you work with, and they can become a great friend right now and become very, very beneficial for you, as well as a romantic partner that is beneficial for your financial situation, Virgo. So if you are single, if you are looking to date, this is the time to put yourself out there. Now, of course, be more cautious with Mercury retrograde because it can have you rethinking things. So Virgo, these eclipses on the 2nd, 8th house axis in this Mercury retrograde is not just about finance, benefiting from business and becoming more popular and gaining popularity as well, but it's also about love for you. And a lot of you guys can meet the love of your life or just rekindle an old relationship now. And with Saturn transiting your 7th house, you can take a relationship to the next level, make it more serious. Saturn gives longevity to wherever it transits. Now, Mercury also rules your 10th house of career. This could be a time where you are shifting and changing jobs, changing careers, or your public image. It could be a time you are dealing with occult knowledge, therapy, things like that, and it becomes public, or that is your business. Maybe you are starting a business such as a tarot reader, an astrologer, something like that, and you make it known, you make it public for some of you. Or it could be a time where your career goes through a huge major change and you want to do something else. You want to start a business and go out on your own. Again, this is all tying into your self-worth, your self-esteem. So how much is it that you think you are worth is all tying into this. And this eclipse on April 8th with this Mercury retrograde might shake things up for you so much, whether through career or through a love relationships, that you are like, no, you're not going to take any more crap from people. And you're going to finally realize what you are, who you are, and what you are worth, and who you're not going to spend time with, who you are going to spend time with. So it is fantastic for a lot of things, but it can be chaotic, and it can also seem like there's changes happening all the time and new information is coming to you with this Mercury retrograde. So definitely rethink things, revisit things, but take your time on making a decision. Don't just jump into anything quickly because there is more news to be had. So if you do have to make any major decisions or sign major contracts, try to wait until April 25th if you can. I hope this was helpful, Virgo. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde is taking place in your 7th house of romantic love relationships, business partners, the people that you work with as well. Now, the ruler of Aries is Mars and is now sitting in the 6th house where Neptune and Saturn are also there. Mercury rules your 12th house and your 9th house. So your 12th house of self-undoing, people who gossip about you, backstabbing, and expenses. So also your 9th house of spirituality, philosophy, higher education, the law, foreign travels. So all of this is tying in. This Mercury retrograde plays a huge part in the April 8th eclipse that is happening in your 7th house of one-to-one relationships. This Mercury retrograde also ties in the October 14th eclipse that happened in 2023, which happened in your sign, Libra. So really, this is huge. It's playing into the 1st, the 7th, the 6th house, the 12th house, and the 9th house. And this year, on May 25th, Mars is actually going to cross the degree point of the April 8th eclipse in your 7th house. And at that time, you may finally get answers, or you may see what you have been working on come to fruition. Or it could actually be a time around May 25th where you meet someone or you take your relationship to the next level. This may be a time where you are revisiting a job, another job opportunity, or people that you used to work with or used to work for you are reaching out to you, or you're reaching out to them, old contacts, because it's dealing with the 6th house. But it could also be a time where you are reaching out to ex-partners, or they are reaching out to you. They could be contacting you. Old past loves could come back into your life, or maybe you are redoing something when it comes to a love relationship. Maybe you are finally seeking the closure that you need, or you are deciding to go back to somebody, or somebody's coming back into your life. It can be a time where things are confusing in romantic relationships or business partnerships, and you have revisions to do. It's probably wise not to make any rash decisions, at least until Mercury goes direct, because there can be confusions. Things can be said within your relationships that are misunderstood. You could misunderstand things, or your partner could misunderstand things. Be careful of words and exchanges of communication, because the 12th house is playing into this. So there could be secrets that are exposed about you, or secrets that are exposed about your partner or your love relationships. Things going on behind the scenes that will come to light for a lot of you. Now, there's an eclipse on the 8th dealing exactly with this Mercury retrograde. Chiron is there, and all the planets are about to gather in Aries for the month of April. So your one-to-one relationships and business partnerships is huge. A lot of you are having life-altering changes when it comes to love relationships. Or maybe you're finally realizing who it is that you want to be with, who it is that you really have feelings for, and you want to take a relationship to the next level. Get engaged, get married, make things official. A lot of you can be letting go of relationships, or maybe people have let go of you in the past, and maybe now you are revisiting these situations with Mercury being retrograde. It also ties in the 9th house, so maybe you are revisiting contracts or school contracts with any schools, publishing, anything dealing with the law, a law case that you have been involved in, maybe having to do with a partner or a marriage partner even. Some of you, it could be a divorce settlement or something like that, where you are finally reaching some kind of an ending, some conclusion to this. And some surprises may come to light, or more expenditures on behalf of business partners can come up, or on behalf of romantic partners. Now, also, the 9th house deals with foreign travel. So maybe some of you are planning a trip or revisiting the idea of a trip, or maybe some of you are applying for a visa, applying for school or a scholarship or something like that, and you are having to make revisions to an application for work. It could also have something to do with your health, because that is where the ruler is right now. It is in your 6th house, so it could have something to do with changing jobs, collaborations with coworkers, or something to do with your health, such as changing doctors or replanning a surgery. If there's anything important you have to do when it comes to business or health-wise, I would wait until after April 25th when Mercury goes direct, because there's just too much chaos going on right now. But there's a lot of revisions up for you, Libra. I hope this was helpful. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde that starts on April 1st until April 24th is happening in your 6th house of routines, daily habits. It is the house of discipline, co-workers, and of course your health, your vitality, your health habits. Mercury rules your 11th house of groups, friendships, organizations, social media, And also, Mercury rules your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, occult subjects, the money that you share with your partner, any taxes, insurance, any kind of policies like that. The ruler is in Pisces, so that is affecting your 5th house of love, romance, creativity, and children as well. And also ties into the October 14th, 2023 eclipse that was happening in Libra, okay? So all these different houses tie in for you. And Libra is your 12th house. So there could be a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on. Maybe there could be backstabbing friends, gossip about you. You could have to redo things when it comes to routine work contracts. There could be maybe bills, unexpected bills coming through romantic partners or through children for you as well. And it is affecting your shared resources, tax returns, the money that you make, maybe any inheritance payouts, or maybe even alimony, child support payouts. And now for a lot of you, this is also affecting your groups and friendships and organizations that you belong to. And you are revisiting that. You are revisiting who you're friends with, who your true friends are. Or maybe there's some news that you learn about a friend, or news that you learn about shared resources where an unexpected bill comes to you. And it has to do with your creativity, your love partners, your children, or health. So there's a lot you're revisiting. Now, on May 25th, the same day that Jupiter goes into Gemini, Mars crosses the degree point of this April 8th eclipse. At that point, you can finally see the fruition of everything that's been going on around you in April. So finally, something could come to an end, whether it has to do with health, any enemies, backstabbers, or something to do with shared resources for you. At that point, you can finally see the end result. Now, this could also bring up you just kind of trying to be away from the world. So be careful of gossip. Be careful of the communication that you share with people, that you put out on social media, out into the world. And of course, also because it involves your 12th house, I would say be careful of theft, even of intellectual property, or someone just, being sneaky. Their lies could come out around this time or around the eclipse, and you can hear of some news that is more upsetting to you, especially if it has to do with children or romantic partners or with friends. Okay, so also be more cautious of your computers, your cell phones, and so you don't get any mixed messages, or you don't send out any mixed messages when it comes to your love relationships or your friendship circle, your friendship groups. I hope this was helpful, Scorpio. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We have a Mercury retrograde in Aries in your 5th house from April 1st through the 24th. I do have videos on the eclipse and how the eclipse will affect you and personal planets with the eclipse if you want to see that. But for you, you are revising things when it comes to the stock market. If any of you are into the stock market, creativity, hobbies, children, and romantic partners. The ruler of Aries is Mars, and this whole month it will be in Pisces, your 4th house. So this is tying in your 4th house of home and family. Maybe a lot of you guys are getting pregnant, thinking about getting pregnant, falling in love, and moving in with somebody. And you are also rethinking that. Now, Mercury in your chart rules your 7th house of Gemini and your 10th house of Virgo. So this also will play a part in your career. A lot of you guys may be taking your hobbies and making them a career, or you are rethinking certain hobbies because of your career. This also ties in your 7th house. At this point, a lot of you guys can have romantic partners return from the past, or you could be very, in thought about past relationships, reminiscing about past memories with relationships. Also with your children. Your children could be needing more of your time right now. We have Chiron, the wounded healer, right there next to all of this happening. So This is a perfect time if there is sadness, if you have sadness or anger about past love relationships and how they worked out. You guys can now transmute that energy into like a hobby. Turn that hobby into a business venture. You can take your power back right now and take all those pent-up feelings and turn them into something good, something great. But this can also bring up feelings of sadness when it comes to children, love relationships, or past hobbies that you tried to make work. Because the ruler of Mercury is in Pisces, your 4th house, there can be more fights or more arguments in the home, about vehicles, insurance policies, things like that can be coming up for you now. So more power struggles in the home can be happening around April. So just be more cautious. Everyone can be more on edge right now. This is a time when you guys can also meet somebody because this is affecting your 7th house, or you are rethinking the relationship you have with somebody. Some of you could be dating somebody and now you're rethinking if you even want children with them. Do you even want to live with them or have a home with them? And for a lot of you guys, you're taking the next step. But remember, don't make any rash decisions, at least not until April 24th, because more information is coming to you and you might choose something different at the end of this, especially with the eclipse happening. A lot of you guys could be now meeting somebody and falling in love and not sure of where the relationship is going, not sure how it's going at this time. Starting a new hobby and you don't know exactly what you need, what you want out of it. Now, also watch May 25th. That is when Jupiter goes into Gemini, your 7th house of love relationships, business partnerships. But it is also the time when Mars is crossing the degree of the eclipse that's happening on April 8th of this year. This Mercury retrograde also ties in the eclipse from 2023 that we had in October 14th. That was in Libra. Okay, so it also can tie in friendships, friendship groups. Maybe a lot of you guys are rethinking the people that you are friends with and you're leaving behind clubs and organizations and you want to start something of your own or be part of a smaller group and find new and interesting hobbies. But this is definitely telling you that revisions might come from work, the people that you work with, and romantic partners, business partners, children, also creative hobbies, and your investments. So you may need to rethink a lot of these things and see how they play in your life. Do you want to continue on with the way things are going, or do you want a complete shift, a complete change? Some of you maybe are moving because of a love relationship, a romantic partner. You want to move in with them. Others of you, maybe you are letting one go and you are moving out on your own. We have Mars transiting your 4th house, and it is the ruler of this Mercury retrograde. There can maybe even be issues with your partner or an ex-partner about children, about where they live, about how they live, or how your children affect your ability to put yourself out there and go to work, or your public image. How your business partners and romantic partners affect your emotional security. So there could be a push and pull and power struggles within the home about children, about love relationships. A lot of this can be popping up right now around the eclipse and with Mercury retrograding, and you have to revise and rethink these situations with your partner and with your family members. With Mars transiting the 4th, I would be more cautious also of any theft or vandalism. Lock your cars. This can also bring in a breakdown of a car, or it can lead you to replace equipment in your home, such as a fridge, sink, the AC. You might have to replace it because there might be a breakdown in this. There might also be breakdowns in communication with love partners and with your children. You might have misunderstandings right now this month. So a lot of changes can be happening in the area of work, romantic partners, love, creativity, pregnancy, and children for you guys. I wish you all the best. I hope this was helpful, Saggies. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde in Aries is happening from April 1st through the 24th. This is your fourth house of home, family, mother, your emotional security. So a lot of you guys are rethinking where you live, how you want to live, who you want to live with right now. And a lot of these conversations can be coming up for you. Now, the ruler of Aries is Mars, and it is now in Pisces. So a lot of you guys are maybe also rethinking the neighborhood you live in, or maybe rethinking a course you want to take, or changing out old equipment in your home. Don't make any rash decisions and maybe try to hold off until after the 24th when Mercury goes direct, because this is also the same place where you have a solar eclipse happening. So April 8th, when the solar eclipse happens, it might be an emotional time for you. There might be a lot of things and changes going on within the home, within the family, and the people that you are close to, the people who you live with. Chiron is right there with it. So old emotional wounds might come up when it comes to your childhood memories, or the people that you have, relationships with, close one-on-one relationships with. Chiron wants you to transmute this energy so you can take all that pain and anger and turn it into something, a new way of living, a new home, a new lifestyle that you are creating for yourself. So this can be a fantastic time, but I wouldn't make any rash decisions because a lot of new information is coming to you. Now, there could also be fights within the family, with siblings, with neighbors. You can have to revise something when it comes to schooling, your neighborhood, such as HOAs, insurance policies. You might have to change home insurance policies, car insurance policies, and revise things like that. Or issues with those things can come up for you, Capricorn. Now, Mercury also rules your 6th and 9th house. So this can also be a change of home because of a divorce or a legal proceeding. Or because of schooling, you have to move. Or maybe some of you are moving abroad and waiting for paperwork, such as a visa paperwork, or with a university. Revisions might have to come through that. There also might be health issues, or you are moving or changing your lifestyle, who you live with, because of health and daily habits, daily routines, and coworkers, or the people that work with you. Situations that come up with health and work and your daily habits that make you change the way you live day to day within your home. So all these things are coming up for you right now, and you may have to revise them, rethink them, and re-strategize. But when it comes to the 4th house, it's also your emotional security. What makes you feel secure? And you guys might now be rethinking what really does make you feel secure. One of your parents, especially the mother, may be moving or doing something completely different. This is a North Node eclipse in your 4th house. So it could signify a change in that relationship. The ruler of Aries is actually transiting Pisces for this whole month, your 3rd house. Issues and breakdowns in communications are likely to happen. So be more cautious of the emails and texts you sent. And also, this can be a breakdown with your phone, your computer, and you might need to replace communication devices. If not now, then within the month, there might be things going on when it comes to communication for you, Capricorn. But also cars, vehicles might need to get serviced. And because right now the ruler of Mercury is in the 3rd house, this is a time where a lot of Capricorn risings are thinking about moving home. If you aren't doing it or not in the process already, you are thinking about a new home, moving, or taking the next steps. I wouldn't be signing any documents right now. And if you are moving right now, really make sure you look through the lease agreements or the purchasing agreements, because things can come to light that you were not aware of. I hope this was helpful for you, Capricorn. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This Mercury retrograde is happening in your 3rd house from April 1st through the 24th. But the ruler of Aries is Mars and is in your 2nd house. Now for you, this can impact communications, and devices, electronic devices, or any kind of courses you are taking, maybe even misunderstandings with siblings and neighbors. But for you guys, this can mean that you are also learning a new skill that will give you maybe even a side hustle or extra income. You can find schooling right now or revisit an old hobby, and through your own self-efforts, turn it into a business, turn it into a side hustle, make money from it. You could be revisiting the idea of a blog, a YouTube channel, anything like that to make money. So there can be revisions made in this department when it comes to the money that you make and any skills and initiative you are willing to take. But it is worth it. It will pay you guys really well if you really put all your effort into it. And of course, watch what you say around this time, because communication can be a little off and people are on edge with the eclipses. This Mercury retrograde ties in both these eclipses as well as the eclipse that happened on October 14th of 2023. Mercury rules your 5th house of children, creativity, and fun. And this is a time where a new hobby or maybe something that you are doing together with your children affects your income, affects the classes that you take, the skills that you want to learn. Maybe you are learning new skills to help your children, to teach your children. A lot of you guys also can be going into business with romantic partners. And also, it could be a time where you are more creative overall, and you turn your creative hobbies into a business, or you turn your creative hobbies into a course of some type. You could start teaching some kind of creative hobby, creative class to other people. Now, Virgo, so the sign of Virgo is your 8th house. So Mercury also rules your 8th house, Aquarius, which means you can now benefit from your spouse's money, your spouse's income, taxes, inheritances. Now, with Mercury retrograding in the 3rd house, it means that these events can come out of the blue. Maybe miscommunications can come out of the blue, or you have to redo things where it comes to business contracts, taxes, inheritances, insurance policies. You might have to revisit and redo a lot of these things at this time. But overall, this energy is about revision, redoing, and crossing your T's and I's when it comes to the 5th house, the 8th house, and the 3rd house. And this will all affect your finances, your 2nd house, your self-worth, your self-esteem. There's so much new stuff coming to you in the area of the 3rd house. We have the North Node eclipse happening on April 8th. And Chiron is there. So you guys might be literally transmuting all the energy that you have that's been pent up for a long time into a new source of income for yourself. Or you want to streamline your sources of income into something that works better for you. This can also be a time where you are extremely excited about getting new equipment, new computers, new devices, maybe rebuilding a website for a business that you already own. Now, Mercury also rules your 5th house, and this could be a time where you maybe have communication with an ex, or you're reminiscing about an ex, or they are, and you have communication online through social media with an ex-partner for some of you. Revisiting the idea of what makes you happy, what makes you want to learn, So a lot of Aquariuses are taking on new studies, new courses, and this is affecting it's going to affect your self-esteem and the money that you make. So this can bring in a lot of money for you, this new focus. On March 25th, there is a lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. So this is your 9th house. Your 9th house is as well tying into all of this. For some of you, it could be you are learning new spirituality, new spiritual lessons, maybe moving abroad, or having beautiful trips to different countries where you are gaining inspiration from this, or you're planning on something like that. For some of you, it could even be that you are teaching. You're teaching a retreat on spirituality, and this could actually come to pass on May 25th, because May 25th, the Mars is transiting that degree, the degree of the April 8th eclipse. So this is where all the fruition that you are working through right now and everything that you are revising could come to pass, and you can gain a lot of luck in this area. Also, this can help your finances greatly. I hope this was helpful, Aquarius, and wishing you all the best with this big eclipse season. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. This Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aries that's happening from April 1st through the 24th is happening in your second house. But the ruler of Aries is Mars, and that is in your sign. So you are more energetic, and you are just going out there and getting everything that you deserve right now. This can be a time where you are revising how you make money, your self-esteem, and anything holding you back from getting the life that you want. People may also find you more sexy around this time, Pisces. Be careful with Mars in the first house. You can sometimes get into little bickering fights with your partner, or your partner could act up in ways, just out of the blue. Now, with Chiron also being involved with all of this and this eclipse, this can give you this drive to take all the sadness that you've had or any anger you've had and transmute that energy into your second house area, which is making money and having a, more fulfilling self-esteem, self-image about yourself. So take all that pain and anger and transmute the energy. Mercury rules also your seventh house of business partnerships, one-on-one romantic relationships. So this can be a time where you are benefiting from a partner, or you're joining resources together, maybe even joining a business partner, starting a new business venture. And with Mars being in your sign, you are taking this initiative. You are the driving force to the money that you make, and you are revising things so that they work better for you. Mercury also rules your fourth house of home, family, your deep emotions. So this can be a time where you start a business out of your home. You start a new money venture out of your home. It could be a time where you are moving in with a partner, or rethinking your living situation, or how you effectively communicate. Effectively communicate with those people that you live with, the people closest to you. This Mercury retrograde really ties in the eclipses. There is a solar eclipse on April 8th happening in your second house. So you are definitely making more money, or about to be making more money. You are benefiting also from a spouse or a long-term partner, because on March 25th, there was a lunar eclipse in your 8th house. So you are going back and forth from benefiting from your partner and the money that you make. You are now gaining more self-esteem and going out there and maybe even getting a new job, getting a promotion, starting a business, but there's some money coming to you, or maybe buying yourself luxury possessions, or you are attaining possessions. These possessions could be also home possessions. You could be buying furniture for your home and revisiting maybe how you want to decorate your home with your partner. So the fourth, the seventh, the second, and the first house is coming into play for you. And so you are revisiting the money that you make, how you make money, how you get paid, how money works between you and your partner, your home environment, and the way that you do business with other people. Now, this lunar eclipse that's happening on March 25th is really affecting your fifth house as well. So there could be, a lot of you could be studying spirituality, tarot, astrology, or you could be really getting into spiritual practices at this time. And out of the blue too, some of you can become pregnant, or really fall in love if you are single, meet a romantic partner, something really great coming to you out of the blue. Or a lot of you could be starting creative projects that help you make money. Your creative projects, you could even start them at home, because Gemini rules your fourth house. Some creative passion project that you start, and it could be either a side hustle or a new business that you start. It could be with a romantic partner. Even for some of you, maybe the creativity is coming from your children. You can start a business with your children. But all these houses are tying in together. And on May 25th, Mars crosses the same degree point of the eclipse that's happening on April 8th. So at that point, you could really see the fruition of everything that you have been revising throughout April. So this is a month of revision of money, how you share money, your new business ventures, maybe home, decorating your home environment. Some of you guys could even be getting a vehicle right now. So be careful for miscommunication with a Mercury retrograde, but this is a fantastic time for love and business and creativity for you Pisces. I hope you guys found this helpful. Like and subscribe for more.